I stared at my phone, my thumb hovering over his name. A text blinked on the screen. Miss you, love. My heart fluttered, but a cold knot tightened in my chest. I typed back, miss you too, and hit send. But I knew, deep down I knew, I wasn't the one he missed. I was just a placeholder, a ghost of his ex-girlfriend. My name's Emma. I was 24 when I met James. He had this easy charm, the kind that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. We met at a bookshop. I was flipping through a novel, and he leaned over, smirking. That book's rubbish. Try this one. He handed me a battered copy of some sci-fi classic. I laughed, and we ended up talking until the shop closed. That was it. The spark. The beginning. We started dating, and it felt like a dream. He'd take me to quiet pubs, hold my hand under the table, tell me I was different. Special. We'd spend weekends wandering through parks, sharing chips and bad jokes. I told him I wanted to see the world, Japan, Iceland, anywhere far away. He'd grin and say, we'll go together. I believed him. I fell hard. My mates said I was glowing. My mom said I hadn't smiled like that in years. And I hadn't. James felt like home. Life with him was warm, like a Sunday morning in bed. We'd cook together, mess up the kitchen, dance to old tunes on his creaky record player. I moved into his flat after 8 months. It was small, a bit cluttered, but we made it ours. We strung up fairy lights, bought mismatched mugs. I thought, this is it. This is forever. I didn't know I was stepping into someone else's shadow. One night, everything shattered. James was out with mates, and I was tidying up. I found a box tucked under his side of the bed. Old photos, letters, a faded scarf. I shouldn't have looked, but my hands moved faster than my brain. The photos were of him and a girl. Blonde hair, bright smile. They looked happy, really happy. The letters were to her. His messy handwriting, full of promises. You're my everything, he wrote. My stomach dropped. I sat on the floor, clutching a letter, my world tilting. Who is she? Why did he keep this? I waited for him to come home. Hours dragged by. My mind spun. Was I just a rebound? A stand-in? When he stumbled in, a bit tipsy, I held up a photo. Who's this? My voice cracked. He froze, his smile fading. Emma, it's nothing, he said, but his eyes betrayed him. They were heavy, guilty. He slumped onto the couch, ran a hand through his hair. Her name was Sophie, he said. We were together for 4 years. It ended a year before I met you. I listened, but every word cut deeper. He said he loved me, that Sophie was history. But his voice softened when he said her name, like it hurt to let it go. I felt small, like I was wearing someone else's clothes, living someone else's life. I didn't sleep that night. I lay beside him, staring at the ceiling. His arm was slung over me, but it felt wrong, like a weight I couldn't carry. I kept picturing those letters, the way he poured his heart out to her. He'd never written me anything like that. Did he look at me and see her? Did he kiss me and wish it was her? The thought was acid in my veins. The next few weeks were a haze. I tried to act normal. I smiled, made coffee, kissed him goodbye. But inside, I was crumbling. I started noticing things. The way he'd zone out, staring at nothing. The way he'd call me love, but rarely my name. Once he slipped and called me Sophie. He laughed, said it was a daft mistake. I laughed too, but it stung. It burned. I couldn't stop myself. I snooped. I know it's awful, but I had to know. I checked his phone while he slept. No text to her, no calls. But there were photos, tucked in a hidden folder. Him and Sophie, laughing, kissing, living. I scrolled through them, my hands trembling. Each one was a punch to the gut. I felt like I was fading away. I confronted him again. We were in the kitchen, dishes stacked in the sink. Do you still love her? I asked, my voice steady, but my heart racing. He looked away, silent. That silence screamed louder than any answer. I pushed harder. Am I just a replacement? Be honest. He sighed, rubbed his eyes. Emma, I care about you. I do. But Sophie, she was my first love. It's hard to let that go. I stood there, numb. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe. What am I to you? I whispered. He didn't answer. He just looked at me, his eyes full of pity.
Pity.
I didn't want his pity. I wanted his love.
But I saw it then.
I'd never have it. Not the way I deserved. I walked out of the kitchen. I didn't cry, not yet. I went to our room, packed a bag. Just a jumper, jeans, my favorite book. I moved quietly, like I didn't belong there anymore. I kept thinking, this isn't my place. It never was. As I passed him, he was on the couch, head in his hands. Emma, don't go, he said. But I kept walking. If I stopped, I'd break. I crashed at my mate Chloe's place. Her sofa was lumpy, but it was safe. I cried a lot those first few days. I'd wake up, disoriented. Then it'd hit me. I missed him. I hated myself for missing him. I kept asking, why wasn't I enough? I replayed every moment, every laugh, every touch. Had it all been fake? Chloe was a rock. She'd sit with me, let me rant. One night, I spilled everything. The box, the letters, the photos. She hugged me tight and said, Emma, you're not a replacement.
You're you.
And that's more than enough. Her words sank in. I started thinking about who I was before James. The girl who loved books, who dreamed of adventure, who laughed without fear. I'd lost her somewhere. I didn't talk to James for weeks. He texted a few times. I'm sorry. Can we talk? I ignored them. I wasn't ready. I needed to find myself first. I started small. I read again. Lost myself in stories. I took walks, watched the rain. I wrote in a notebook, let my thoughts spill out. Bit by bit, I felt lighter, like I was coming back to life. One day, I saw him. At the bookshop where we met. I was there, reading, and he walked in. My heart jumped, but I stayed calm. He saw me, hesitated, then came over. Can I sit? He asked. I nodded. We talked. It was stiff at first, but then it flowed. He said he was sorry, that he'd been wrong to hold on to Sophie. He said he cared about me, but he wasn't ready to love fully.
Not yet.
I listened. I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt free. I realized I didn't need his love to feel whole. I didn't need him to pick me. I could pick myself. When he left, I watched him go. I didn't cry. I didn't feel empty. I felt steady. Like I was enough. Now I live differently. I got my own place, a tiny flat with big windows. I read every night, stack books on every surface. I treat myself to coffee, try new places. I'm saving for a trip, maybe Japan. I don't talk to James anymore, but I don't hate him. I hope he finds his way. I hope he learns to let go. I did. Sometimes I think about that box under his bed. The letters, the photos. They used to tear me apart. Now, they're just a story that's not mine. I'm writing my own now. It's messy, raw, but it's real. And it's mine. Looking back, I see it clearly. Love isn't about being someone's everything. It's about being enough for yourself. And I am. I always was. Hey, if this story hit you, Drop a comment below. Have you ever felt like you were living in someone else's shadow? Or maybe you found your way back to yourself. Let's chat. I'd love to hear your stories.